Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I'm Lizzie, and for today's project I went thrifting for some supplies. Right now the thrift stores have their Halloween decor out, and at this one I was at, they had all these really cute pumpkins. Some of them originally looked maybe from like Target or Home Goods. I didn't grab any of them. I did want them all though, they were really cute, but alas I did not grab any. And they did have some that looked DIY'd, and those were cute too. But I did manage to find my the wreath that I'm going to use for this project, and I found a bag of pumpkins. I did grab pumpkins actually. Very quickly, I want to share with you the thrift haul. First up is this wreath I'll be using for today's video. I can tell this was someone's DIY and it's perfect for my project. Now the bag of small pumpkins is perfect for my upcoming projects. It was $4, which isn't a bad deal for the amount I got. I also found this beautiful Halloween tablecloth. It was about $3.49, and I found a pack of 4 placemats for Halloween that I thought were so pretty and high-end looking, and those were $3.49 for that pack of 4. I got these 2 pumpkin pails, but not for my kids. They're for upcoming projects, and those were 99 cents. Now let's get to making the Beetlejuice wreath. First things first, I took everything off the wreath. The little machine connected to it looked like a light source for whatever they originally had connected to this. It looked broken, so I just threw it away. As for the fence and the Happy Halloween sign, I did keep those because I wanted to reuse them for this project. I spray painted my wreath with this black gloss spray paint from Walmart. Now I think it would have been pretty left like this, but my goal was to make a Beetlejuice wreath, so I kept going. Next, I revamped the fence and the little sign by using black paint from Walmart and Ivory paint also from Walmart. I'll leave details of all the paints I used in the descriptions down below. So I started with painting the fence with the Ivory paint, and I just used that to cover the entire fence. I ended up painting the fence twice. I used the black paint to cover the entire sign. Once it was dried, I went over with white paint, and I painted it to make it look like it was stitched. Then with my Cricut Joy, I made the words Beetlejuice. Now I'm a little rusty when it comes to using the Cricut for labeling. I mainly like to use it for making cards, but I wanted to use it for this project because I wanted the words to look a certain way, and I know this was the best way to do that, because I'm not super talented when it comes to paintbrushing words on, and I don't have any paint markers, and stenciling with just the wrong font. I wanted this certain font, and the gold, I'm using gold because that's all I had on hand. So I am rusty when it comes to the Cricut. Yeah. And so once I got that all on, I then finished painting it. And this is how it looked. So I got these foam balls from the Dollar Tree. The ones in the cup are also from the Dollar Tree. They go with the Easter decor, so they're seasonal, and I'll be using all of these. I'll be painting each one, and this is how I painted the larger ones. This was the method I used for drying them too. Now the paints, I used lime tree green, red, black, and white, and all these paints I got from Walmart. For the medium foam balls, I'll be painting 1 green to represent Beetlejuice's hair, 1 will be red to represent Lydia's red dress, and 2 will be black and white striped to represent Beetlejuice's clothing. For the larger ones, I did the same thing, except I did 2 for each color. Now when it came to the small ones, I used a paper plate and I added some paint, and I painted 10 at a time. I did this with the red ones, and then I also did the same method with the white paint and the green paint. So I did 10 red and 10 white and 10 green. Next, I used this red and green ribbon and mesh from the Dollar Tree. The red I thought would be perfect to represent Lydia's dress, and the green mesh, I just thought it was had a pretty sparkle to it, and I thought it would be a fun addition and give it more definition and texture. I used the red ribbon to wrap up all the larger red foam balls. I had my hot glue gun on a low setting, and because the hot glue goes through the ribbon, I didn't have to use so much hot glue. I just kept wrapping, and I would cut it and then continue wrapping from a different angle on a different side. I wanted to wrap these up kind of like a mummy, and I did that for 3 of them. I just really want to thank you and take a second and truly thank you for clicking onto this video. I do appreciate it a lot, and I would appreciate it if you stuck around. That would be awesome. I hope you are enjoying this video so far, and thank you again. When it came to the green ones, what I did was take the mesh and wrap them up and then hot glue them in the back. The hot glue was on a low setting. This was a little tricky, so I think the next time if I do something like this, I would probably wrap the mesh around it and then maybe tie it in the back, because it was a little tricky. It came out pretty though. For this project, I'm going to make the sandworm that you see on Beetlejuice. I used one of the foam wreaths that you get from Dollar Tree, and I broke it in half, and this is going to be my base part. I ended up ordering this air dry clay mold online from Walmart online. It was a little over $10, and this helped me make the head part of my worm. It was easy to work with, and it did dry quickly. This was my first time using anything like this, so it did take me time to figure out how to shape and how to work with it, but it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. I made the teeth and tongue separately. The only thing that I completely forgot about was to make the fin part that goes in the back, but I'll probably do that later. So now I'm basically going to paper mache my entire sandworm with newspaper and Mod Podge. And this is how it came out. I did the same thing to the tongue. Then I hot glued the teeth. Before hot gluing the top teeth, I hot glued the tongue inside, and then I hot glued the top teeth. When it came to painting, I did paint one side at a time. Both sides came out a little different from each other. What I didn't know at the time was that when the paint dried, it would do so much cracking. So what I did was I put Mod Podge on both sides, and then and I did that just to protect the paint from chipping off, because I was afraid that that would happen if it dried and then it would start chipping. So I put the Mod Podge on. Now that I have all my pieces, it is time to assemble my Beetlejuice wreath. The first thing I did was zip tie the sandworm where the little machine used to be. I used 2 zip ties, and they had to be long ones. Originally I was going to go with these black ones to match it, but they weren't long enough, so I went with the white ones and I just painted them. I kept that wire they originally used for the fence, and I just reused that to put the fence back on. I then hot glued the sign back on, and I did use a lot of hot glue, and I made sure to hold it in place until the glue dried because I didn't want this popping off, and so I had to hold it down until the glue dried. Now I'm going to hot glue the small foam balls that I painted, and I just placed those wherever I wanted. I then hot glued the medium-sized foam balls, and I also just placed those wherever I wanted. I was a little afraid that the hot glue might melt the foam a little bit, but it didn't. It actually worked out. For the red one, I did hold it in place just a little while until the glue dried. When it came to the larger ones, I decided to hot glue and stick skews in them, and I let the hot glue dry before doing anything else. So when they were all dried, I then went and I painted all the skews black. And once that paint dried on the skews, I just stuck them in to the wreath, and that was it. I didn't use any hot glue. I felt like this was missing something, right? Right? It's missing something, but what? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you come back. Bye!